Do you make sure you orgasm every time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, otherwise, whew, what is that, edging?
Edging. I can't do it. I tried.
It's nothing but a bunch of frustration for me personally.
When you started recording?
I thought you knew.
No.
I can cut that part out.
Put that in there. How y'all doing?
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Women Gone Wild, a space where rebellious, authentic, expressive, creative, free-spirited women who clearly don't fit into a box are celebrated and encouraged to keep popping her shit. I'm your host, Zae, and today is a very, very special episode because for the first time in Women Gone Wild history, the past, I'd say 3 months that this podcast has been live, I've never had a guest. But today, all that changes because I have the potent, flowing, open soul poet, Papadook. So, hi, hey, Papadook. Can I call you? Can I call you?
You calling me Mookie?
Okay, yes. I know her as Mookie, but yes, the world knows her as Papadook. So, I guess I can call you the Papadook just to keep your brand alive and in people's minds, fresh as they watch this episode. But yes, how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. How y'all doing?
I'm feeling great. I feel good. I'm glad to have you in my space today. I really appreciate you.
For sure.
I've been wanting to get you on my podcast for a really long time. And I never really conceptualized what that would look like, but we're here now and it happened so organically and I'm very thankful.
Same.
So yes, tell us about you. What do you do? Who are you?
Yeah. Good questions. I am the host, the poet, the MC, the flavor, the cloth liker, the root worker that is Papadook the poet. I feel like I specialize in poetry for sure. It's my favorite thing to do. I host Wednesdays. You've had the privilege of being at some of my shows doing her live paintings in Zajavuu. I curate shows that black women get to be in and be safe with. That's exactly what I do. That's the main thing.
Yes, thank you so much. And I guess the main question, a part of that question that I wanted to add, but I forgot to say it, is what would you consider your ministry to be? Which is, what is the message that you embody that you want the world to hear or know or understand?
That's a very good question. So what message do I want the world?
Well, what message do you embody? Because you're a walking message every day. So I just, like, what is that message?
Like, be free. Or find freedom. Fight. We can't necessarily fight for freedom. Be peaceful for freedom. That would have to be the message if we're going to simplify it. But what I want people to do is to get out of the systems that have been oppressing us. I want people to be creative. And I want them to get to a point spiritually where they're in line and in line with the path that they've created. Not that's chosen for them, not what your parents wanted you to do, not what your children want you to do, but the path that you are supposed to align with. I think that is extremely important, and the moment that I found my purpose, or the purpose found me, however those things align, I started getting everything I needed and wanted. Everything started feeling so good.
Yeah.
Where the anxiety and the depression and the imposter syndrome starts to kick in, and shit, that back down to Stockholm syndrome, when you go back to abusive things, we start to consume differently. Food, drinks, your water intake, your media, however you take things in, started to change. Because I started to change it.
So, yeah, same. Like,
it's freedom.
I think that specifically when you spoke about doing what you want to do and not what your family wants you to do and what society wants you to do. To me, that will to be authentic and to live in your authenticity is, if you want to make it religious, to me that would be my definition of living out God's will. Because I was speaking about this last night, in my perception of spirituality and God, I believe that we are reflections, pieces, fragments of God experiencing itself, and experiencing witnessing its own creation. And so when you want something, that is God wanting something. So and that's why when you go for the things that you naturally and authentically are drawn to, you get more of that back, because it's always supposed to be. You're following the path for you. So I appreciate you for saying that. And I guess since this is Women Gone Wild, and I heard rumors of this being Lesbian Visibility Week, maybe? Have you heard that? It's hard to keep up with all the holidays.
If they post that shit, then that's what day it is. It's sibling days, kiss your dog in the mouth days, black cat day. You sure? Yeah.
It's kiss your cat in the mouth day.
Yeah, I'm participating in that.
So this is Women Gone Wild, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone kind of knew where, kind of understands where you are. So how do you identify as far as gender and sexual orientation?
My gender's female. I am binary for sure. So I was born female. I know that I'm a girl growing up. I knew that I was a woman when I started to define myself as what a girl to a young woman to a woman actually looks like. So I identify as a woman. I'm a lady. If you want to consider that to be mass presenting, but I'm also, as far as my sexuality, I'm going to have to put myself in the category of lesbian, because men don't do what they're supposed to do. I would be attracted to certain men if they were to do what they were supposed to do, but because women are so safe, so valuable, so nurturing, some of those things that I've gotten from women each and every single time, even if it doesn't work out, I've never gotten from men, even the best men that have claimed that they wanted to have anything to do with me romantically, sexually, intimately, at all. None of those things ever happened. So
men could have a chance if they acted right. But they just don't.
They just don't. And then some of the worst fucking women I've dated. I've had some toxicity throughout my life. Some really emotionally challenging women still nurture me, still have those qualities that I'm looking for with any partnership that I have. Mm-hmm. And no, it's always on a business mindset. Shout out to Jackson, Paperboy Jackson. He has those qualities, but there's no intimacy and romance there. He's in my business partnership. Mm-hmm. He cares about me as a person as well, but it's friendship. And that's
I love you and Jackson's relationship. It's so healthy.
It's so healthy. It's platonic. Mm-hmm. I'm one of his homeboys, and he's one of my homegirls. He's okay with bringing his femininity out to match me, because he knows that I'm really feminine, and his masculinity comes out when my irrational side comes out. When I get overly emotional, he still knows how to take care of me as a man, and it doesn't matter whether I'm giving him pussy or not. He just takes care of women. So I love those type of men. And no, I ain't dating that nigga. No. But if they were to act the way that he does, with the extra sprinkle of, maybe some queerdom in there, would help me just be able to tolerate some of the systems that's been in place with binary men. And I think I'd be more open to dating a queer man than dating a cishet man. I ain't doing that.
I definitely understand. It just seems like the more queer a man is, or the less ties that he has with the traditional idea of patriarchy. Yep. And so essentially the less problematic he tends to be.
Correct.
Yeah, I definitely get that.
Yeah, them cisgender ones, they be real problems, man. For real, y'all just be in the way.
So then, okay, so men aside, how does your identity exist in relation to other women? how do you show up for women? What are the various ways that you show up for women, and what kind of relationships do you cultivate? Do you tend to cultivate with women?
At least friendship. I like to start there. Let's make sure we like each other. A lot of times it does move into at least that physical attraction because a lot of us have beautiful features. So it's hard to look at a black woman who looks like you and moves like you, maneuvers like you in the art scene, and not maybe want to get intimate with her. That intimacy is now going to be based into what she wants, though. And a lot of times women are very fluid with their sexuality, so I don't really care too much about what your sexuality is. It's just
Pause, record scratch. So are you saying that you don't mind if a woman dates women and men?
I don't mind at all.
Here you have it, folks.
I do not care about
a
that
masculine presenting woman who is so secure in her sexuality that she does not openly and shamelessly display biphobia.
Right? Why y'all acting like that? Do y'all want her to be herself or not? Like, you're going to win the battle that it is against men and women. That nigga can't do anything for her more than what you can do, bruh. Like, you're a woman. You're going to be able to relate to her in sisterhood, in connection to music, in cosmetics. You're going to be able to relate to her in so many ways that men would never be able to, even if they tried, honey.
Exactly.
And y'all question men's identity or sexuality the moment that they do indulge into wanting to get Beyonce tickets. Let's say you see a man straight up just know all the words to Beyonce. Girl, you're going to think he gay. So y'all don't even let them do that.
Right.
We have the upper hand. We always will. Let these women suck that dick a little bit. Damn. Let these women get their little rocks off with these niggas and come right back to you and be secure in who you are. You'll be fine. You're going against a nigga.
It's a man.
You're not never gonna fucking win. But they can pick you up. I can pick a motherfucker up. We'll talk about that later.
Speaking of, okay, you can pick some. So what's your type?
Brown, fine, of course. I like natural women. I like women that, and when I say natural, I don't mean you don't wear deodorant. I like for you to stay.
Natural women who smell good.
I like women that are ingratiated into a lifestyle where they choose primarily holistic options. So when we are sick or when we do need some type of supplement, I want it to be a natural version. Going to the hospital, getting antibiotics and shit is not my steez. I haven't ever been admitted to the hospital. And anything that ever has happened, like a stomach ache or, sure, I've had COVID twice, so you just got to wait that out. It's not necessary to me in the way that I eat and consume for me to ever go into big pharma for their assistance. And I'm not talking about like if you have an illness.
The way you eat is your medicine.
Correct. Now this is excluding people that have autoimmune diseases, and people that actually do need that type of support medically. I'm not talking about those type of people. I'm talking
but just the overall, just like you're like the first go to would be something natural. Is the type of
yes. Yeah. You want to go towards something natural that's going to actually help you without all those side effects. I'm not a chemical person. I don't really like using. I mean, I bleach. Good nigga gotta use bleach. Cleaning now, but I do my absolute best to find the remedies that are home. And as far as like down to our hair products, that is big for me. I don't necessarily like for us to put extensions or beauty enhancements that degrade our natural beauty. There's nothing wrong with eyelashes until you take them off and now you don't have eyelashes because they've been pulled so much. I'm fine with the eyebrows until you shape them so much that now you don't have eyebrows. Cool with the tracks and shit, right? You done put them tracks on so much that now we don't have edges.
The edges have left the chat.
Yeah. Ain't no fucking edit. I'm not gonna push you. You already close to the edge.
I love it.
I like orgasms. I don't like, edges. Do the enhancements. I love them. Match it right. Whatever women want to do, I'm for. But my preference is for people to do the best that they can to, once again, enhance themselves naturally. I'm not with surgery and shit. Go Go to the gym if you want to change some things. If those don't change, start accepting it. I would love for my legs to be crazy. I want to look like Jalen Hurts. I want thick, big legs. That's not what God intended right now.
So you embrace like women of like all sizes.
Like, not all sizes.
You embrace the bigger women.
You gotta be more than 145. Sorry, I'm not doing no 130. You got to. I'm sorry, bro. Medium to
But that's comforting though, because like, I
have my preference. That's my preference, to definitely have women of status, and if we ever need to break out into a fight, they got my back because they thick.
I think that makes you a safe space for a woman to exist wholesomely.
Yes.
And like just free, because she's not worried about whether or not she looks fat or whether she's eating too much with you. You kind of just, you provide that safety and that assurance that you're beautiful.
Absolutely.
And we love that.
We need that. The world is really fat phobic.
Yes.
They're just size phobic. It doesn't matter. There is no perfection.
Yeah.
It's always something that you are too much of or too little of. So, I'm trying to develop a system where, as black women especially, and we've already started this. You've seen it. You see somebody with some pink glasses. Okay, glasses. You know what I'm saying? You see somebody, let's say it is a bigger girl, and she got on that print. Okay, I see you print. I see you leopard. That shit, yes. We're not allowing our sizes to be off-putting towards black women anymore. We're doing the snapping for ourselves. We're starting to advocate for ourselves regardless of size. And I'm going to do that personally. And even in my preferences, I'm going to try to push that outward as much as I can. I think the message needs to be ingratiated into us.
That's a part of your message about being free.
Gotta be free.
And just not giving a fuck about other people's perception.
Because it's always going to be different than how you think about yourself. You got to think good things about yourself first. When you look into the mirror, who do you see and what do you like? Some people look in the mirror and cry. We got to start there. Things won't change outside of you where you think that it would help until you are able to understand who you are and you accept where you are. You got to accept where you are. Then when it's time to make change, I promise you'll be able to do it a little bit quicker and with more emphasis.
From a place of love. And
it would also be from a place
of pressure and like hate and insecurity. And
yes. I'm okay with the pressure. Sometimes shame works. But don't shame yourself to the point where you push yourself out of why you're doing it in the first place. And that is to love yourself unconditionally. Yes. Yeah. I reserve unconditional love for self.
I love that. And you give other people the space to also do the same thing. If not encouraging them and trying to pour into them as much as possible so that they can get to the same mindset.
Absolutely. Because you say that about yourself and people think that you're snooty or that you think you're better than them because you have self-love. Baby, I want to encourage you to do the same. You're the GOAT too. You're the greatest. You're the best. We're all the absolute best versions.
All the goats.
All the goats. So be one. Act like one. Treat yourself like one.
Facts. And so I hear the way that you talk about women and the way that you, even when we briefly touched on like your sexuality and how you would fuck with niggas, but so some may see how intolerant you are because I've been to your shows. I've been to your shows and you are very women centered. Okay, you proactively decenter men in your spaces where you host, where you perform, where you have a voice, where you have a platform. And so someone may see how intolerant you are of like misogyny and patriarchy and may call you a misandrist. Do you feel like a misandrist? How do you feel about that, first of all? And like, do you feel like you're a misandrist?
Absolutely not. I'm not a misandrist because the moment a man shows me that he's safe, I'm good. So when he walk in and he a flame or a twink, he's still a man. When you walk in and you're a trans man, I know you had to transition, but you're a man. I'm safe. It has to do with cishet men and cisgendered men. It has to do with males that were born into a system thinking that they can take whatever they want and there's not going to be any consequence or repercussion. I don't live in that era. I don't live in that era where women don't fight back. That's what we are. That's what my generation has always been. And my mom and grandmother ensured that would continue through me. So we just don't play that shit. The moment I see an openly bisexual man, it's really based on their sexual. I think the deeper and open a man's sexuality is, it allows me to feel more safe as far as what they feel like they can take from me. And the unfortunate reality is men do a lot of rapey shit. And I'm not with it. And I just don't have time to even put myself in those type of situations to become sexually assaulted. Because if I know who you are, or if I am able to find you, that's going to be the end of my career. I'm going to go ahead and ask them to come and get me.
And there's that, guys. Like, that's it. Men be raping women.
I'm going to kill you.
Men be killing women.
And I'm going to kill you back.
So if there was a... See if that's pulling. I don't know. I told you I did it too tight. I don't know. If there was a disdain or a hate for men in this, and we can put a label on it, misandry. If there was an air of that energy present, would it not be warranted?
It's absolutely warranted.
It's okay. I think it's okay to hate people who kill you.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. That's the extremist part of it. What about just the coercion and the manipulation that we have to deal with? And you want to know who has to deal with the background and the backbone of making sure I uplift women again? Lesbians. Yeah. We're the ones who have to deal with other women. Yeah. Or sisterhood. That's right. Mm-hmm. Moms, aunties. Mm-hmm. It's not men who have to deal with women's problems against men. Because all they do is deflect and say, oh, well, you probably had it coming. Or what did you do?
Oh, you chose the wrong nigga.
Right. Me and him are not the same.
Oh, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't know nothing about that.
It ain't got nothing to do with me. But in sisterhood, I be ready to fight some of my bitches if I feel like you done did something so stupid that put all of us in danger. Bitch, you about to get cut off from the entire group of us. When we hear that you chose a baby daddy that you knew wasn't good and he was going to be violent. Like, we be ready to check. We check our women. Mm-hmm. We check our women. Y'all men don't check men enough. And you know what? I don't think we need it. Because that's once again, centering men to make it our problem on something that they should be fixing on themselves. They got to figure that out amongst their boys. Figure that out with your homies.
And that's the thing, is that's what I love about you, is that you're not afraid to speak up about shit that is problematic, shit that is not okay, shit that is inappropriate. Mm-hmm. Very, like, it's almost like every time you are addressing a group of men or addressing an audience, you have to mention consent because someone has said something inappropriate. Whatever, you are always the one speaking up, and it's funny how a woman has the gall and the audacity and the boldness to speak up about injustices, and men kind of just be looking at their homeboys that they could easily say something to. You tell that nigga when he got you fucked up about some other shit, but when it comes to him being like a rapist or like playing in women's faces or lying to his wife or cheating or whatever, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Oh, that's your boy. Oh, you don't have anything. You don't have anything to give. You don't have anything to contribute as far as wisdom, knowledge.
No advocacy at all.
Advocacy.
You have you're just so indifferent towards it.
And that is the reason why in my last episode, I specifically was like, men had all this time to tear down patriarchy. They had all this time to...
And now it's feminism that has to take it over.
And now that feminism is on the rise.
And now we hate y'all.
And womanism is on the rise. And we're not tolerating you unless you bring something to the table, which is, provision, providing, being a protector.
That's
unless you are a man of substance, yeah.
That's what you said you wanted to do, right?
Yeah. That's what you said you wanted to do. Now that you can't do that, you realize you can't do that. It's a problem. Mm-hmm. And now we should all work together to dismantle patriarchy.
Because we got to end that male loneliness
epidemic.
They're so
That's the
boring.
only thing they were concerned about.
That's it.
Was the male loneliness. That when it comes to them, it didn't matter that women were getting raped, women were getting killed, women were getting
pillaged, free labor,
genital mutilation, child marriage. None of that shit mattered. Under patriarchy, it became an issue that we must dismantle when
We don't want to fuck them no more.
When access has been revoked.
But we don't want to fuck them no more, especially in these big cities.
Exactly.
It's fine when you see
especially
a bunch of
for free.
It's fine when you see a bunch of masculine presenting. You see a bunch of dykes going around studs with some of these women here and there, but seeing that femininity attract to other femininity, and it's like there's no role that a man could even play in some of these relationships that I'm seeing with women. Oh, that decenters. It's everything. Now they're just calling out, well, who's going to fix your car? I know women mechanics. Well, who's going to fly to the moon? We got women astronauts now. Somebody has to pave your concrete and build your homes.
I live in the woods.
I will find a black woman lumberjack.
No, but men, that's the thing though, is y'all are very much still needed. Y'all are still needed. We still need you to pave the streets and fix the plumbing and build the houses.
But
and
that's
fix
it. I don't
cars.
need you sexually though.
But
and I do not
you
need
do
you
not get a
emotionally.
reward for that.
Nope.
There's no reward. That's you doing what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. There's no reward.
And that is so outside of me. That's not in my inner circle. I've had such a happy life when I decided that I was going to remove people in general that did not serve me. And I felt like I had to keep my two brothers around due to our bloodline. Them niggas stressed me out.
Yeah.
Their kids stress me out. These ain't even my children. I ain't birthed none of these motherfuckers. These are your kids. Take care of your kids. My mom is taking care of her grandkids, not because she wants to, because she has to.
Because her boys are incompetent.
Correct. As fathers. And they're so incompetent that they're choosing bad baby moms.
Yeah.
Women that are not ready to have your fucking seed. You got to be the one to start. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, and you haven't, now it's our turn to start. And y'all got a problem with that. You can't have no problem with that. You niggas had all the time in the world to fix the world after you kind of ruined shit.
Had all the time in the world.
Still got all the time in the world.
Still got all the time in the world. But you're focusing on the wrong shit. You're moving into the dismantling of patriarchy from the wrong angle. It seems a little narcissistic when you only want to deal with the parts of patriarchy that require you to be better and more than what you are. Like you're not focusing on the parts of patriarchy that actually bring harm to women.
And even to yourselves.
And especially to yourself.
Now impeding onto you.
And that's the thing, is that the whole mental health thing, it's like, that is a problem that men have every right to solve and take accountability for on their own. It is not women's job to be y'all's mental health facilities. Rehab centers. You don't need pussy to rehabilitate yourself. You need to talk to a therapist.
Correct. You need to start doing self-work.
Or you can go to, it doesn't have to be not talk therapy. There's other forms of therapy that don't require talking. Mm-hmm. But you need therapy.
You need to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. Go do something therapeutic like, they love going to the gym. Do that. Do that. And not to look at women and bother them during their sets. Like, go there to get your physical workout on. Maybe that will start to develop some type of want for the mental and the emotional. And the thing is, I never knew what it was to be a man, so I don't know what they need to do. And really, I don't care. I know how to help women in their mental health.
I don't care.
That's up to them.
I think that's what men are so used to being coddled that when you don't care about being an active part of their journey towards success, you're a misandrist. That's what it is. It's the lack of access that they have to women. That is what is being categorized as misandry. It's not that they're dying or losing their rights or having their bodily autonomy revoked. It's that they don't have access to women. And especially women that look like us.
Women that look like us. It's real hard when you got to deal with us. So you're going to get, men are going to have sex with women. It's just not going to be the women that you really want to be dating and want to have sex with. That's the thing. Yeah. There are women that you're going to have to kind of settle for as far as what you thought that you were going to accomplish, and your standards just have to drop a little bit because our standards are rising. There are certain things that you're going to have to do as a man to even have access to me as a friend. And trust and believe, my DMs are absolutely full of men that don't honor my business. They don't come to be a patron at Who Wanna Pho. There are many men that only mention or say something to me with an emoji after they see a nice little body pic that I send. They have no music on their album list. I don't see a Spotify playlist. I don't see anything that shows me that you're into artistry, because I do deal with male artists. I love them. As soon as you're an artist, you're great. I don't care your gender, and usually men can do certain things with rap that when they're great, it's really great. Really great. But I'm not dating you niggas. No. Why would I do something like that?
And I think that, like, I know that we're both very sapphic beings. You know, we're women who love women.
Yeah.
But I think that the reason why I have been on such a streak of just kind of, like, reevaluating what men are to me as a woman in this society is because I'm traumatized from my last relationship. The bill has been like, yeah.
They didn't even mean to push them lies into your head. It's just been,
the bill has been removed, and so like, I've always had an affinity for women, but because I don't want my processing of this whole processing thing with men to be like, oh, it's just a reaction because her being attracted to women is just a reaction to her dislike for men. No. I mean, like you said, women are safe, and women, you can relate to women on multiple levels.
Yeah.
So there's that. Plus, women are fucking beautiful.
They're beautiful.
But then when you're a bisexual like myself, and you are attracted to both, you do have to unpack what is it about men that just doesn't work for me personally.
Or really, I would even go on the other side of it. Not that don't work, because those things can exist in women too.
And it's not even relationship wise. I don't have to be in a relationship to realize that I don't work with men. I'm not like, of course.
What does work with men?
Not honestly.
Yeah.
When they show up as brothers.
When they show up as brothers.
When they show up as
when
brothers.
When they show up
regardless of what they think they're going to get out of it.
Oh my, and you always think you're going to get some pussy out of it. That's the prerequisite. That's what I got to give you for you to do anything. Yeah. And that's just not enough. It's not.
I've seen men, like you said, with men not offering to help you with shit, not offering to support your shows. There have been men, like, in my face as I'm trying to sell art at an event. And they're talking to me, talking my head off. People are walking up, trying, like, curious about the art. I'm not able to talk to them because this man is occupying my time. And I've had to, like, brainstorm ways to professionally be like, nigga, if you're not buying shit, you got to get the fuck out of my face.
You do, because I'm not here
for you to just suck up my energy.
I'm not at the bar.
Yeah, this isn't that. Whatever you thought this was, this isn't that, because you're not buying anything, and that you have to go. I'm here to make money. They will literally say out of their mouths, baby girl, I know you here trying to get your hustle on and make money, make you some money, but I can't really support you today. And then we'll proceed to continue talking your head off. Are you fucking serious? So yeah, I've just worked on being more strict and not allowing.
And what is that professional way that you're asking for them to, remove their energy at this point?
So I am enjoying this conversation. However, we could talk about this more at a more appropriate time. Or right now we are both limited on time, so it's best that we reconvene at a later date. You know what I'm saying? Like, something along the lines of get the fuck out of my face.
Move, nigga! God, I want to be like, get the fuck out the way. Move, get in the way. Just like Rihanna, but that was great. We could reconvene at a different time, yeah.
Because like there was this guy who was trying to talk to me, and I don't know that he was even. I don't know that he was trying to get at me. It doesn't even have to be that.
No,
it does not always have to be that. Sometimes people are literally just draining and siphoning your energy creatively because you're a creative person, not because they want to fuck you, but because they want to.
They just want to be around.
They want to utilize some of what you have and what you come with. So this nigga's talking to me, trying to brainstorm ideas for his TV broadcast network, whatever the fuck he's talking about. I don't know. I go on his Instagram. He has like 800 followers. Bro, I'm like, dude. And it's not even about the follower count.
That could
but
be
it's like,
one of them 795 people we know.
It doesn't matter. together.
Might be.
It's like, dude, if you want to talk about collaborating, we're not going to talk about collaborating at an event where this is my time to shine and sell my artwork. This is not a time for you to discuss collaboration with me about your project.
Right.
And plus his breath was stinking. So I had to remove myself from this situation, from this conversation, and he got so offended. He had just followed me, right? And when I told him, well, no, now's not really a good time to talk about this, he unfollowed me right after. See? And was like, don't worry about it. And that's how I know. Like, you just wanted to pull from me. Yeah. You did not have any real intentions.
You didn't even want to wait until I was available to pull from me.
Yeah.
I probably would have gave you the pull, but it's just not right now.
Like, the entitlement for my energy in that moment is like the problem.
That's the fucking problem.
It's not about you wanting to sleep with me, get with me. Of course you want to sleep with me. Hello. But like, hello. But like, it's just that entitlement, just for any reason at any given point. I just can't deal with it. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's a problem, man. And then it's not all men, but it's always men. And when I have that entitlement towards women, we can still at least let her know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Like, I could be like, hey, mama, just chill with all that. For real, you acting up a little bit. I get a better response than when I've tried to teach broke niggas, rich niggas, big niggas, small niggas. It doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter who they are. They always seem to have an attitude when it feels like a woman is checking them. Mm-hmm. And when you're in my space, at my events, it's not necessarily checking. I'm just trying to make sure that we're appropriate with our entitlement. And their response is so coy and what do I want to call it? Like, pathetic at times. Yeah. Or it's hostile. Mm-hmm. I get one or the other. I get you so embarrassed now you want to leave, or now you need to leave because you about to turn up and you don't know me and my niggas will jump you. You know, the bartender will come across with a whole bottle like, this should have turned into smokers quick. Don't do that, man.
I don't know. I feel like the way a man handles rejection shows me a lot about him.
Girl. Because some of these niggas be willing to fucking kill you because you got rejected. Especially if you got rejected in front of people.
If you switch up and you're like, well, that's why you ugly anyways. No. And the other night, I told you, I was walking and this guy was like, excuse me, do you have a boyfriend? No. No. Can I get your number? No. Can I get your Instagram? No. No. And the reason why I don't give out my Instagram is because I don't want men to just be able to access me visually at any point, because that's all they are. That's all they want. Men are visual beings. We keep hearing that, right? So I don't want you to just have visual access to me, because that's all you want at any time without, like, it's almost like being on art display.
Yeah, it's like and
you just consuming me for free without like pouring into me, or getting to know me. And so no, you cannot have my Instagram. No, so that you can stalk my page
and be leaving nasty ass hearts.
And nasty delete. Nasty ass hearts is crazy. That was disgusting emoji.
You got eggplant, water drip. Delete.
But the way he took the rejection, he was just like, man, that's weak as hell. I was like, yeah, that is weak as hell for you. I mean, I guess I don't know what he was referring to, but
maybe his game.
I mean, yeah,
his game was essentially weak as hell.
Yes. That's what we could all acknowledge that just wasn't the one. It's okay. It's like saying, damn, next time.
Shucks. Another one bites the dust.
I don't know. I feel powerful in just saying no. Mm-hmm. So, like, I used to, like, give my number out of, like, fear that they would kill me. Mm-hmm. But now it's, no. Mm-mm. And so, yeah. So, thank you so much for, like, indulging. I knew you would feel me on that. So, I'm curious. Like, I'm very inspired by you. I do, find you to be someone that is an activator.
Oh yes,
Being that
yes.
you do the way that you just express out loud is it helps radicalize whoever's near you and in your vicinity. So yeah, like where'd you come from? Like, okay, who have you been and what have you been inspired by over the years?
Okay. So who have I been inspired by? A lot of my lyricism, especially, this is what builds my confidence. Knowing that I can rap in and out, freestyle poetry. I have good poems. I feel very well rounded with the delivery that I give. Sometimes it's not about what you say, even though I'm saying some crazy shit. It's about how you say it, and that takes practice. I practice every day some type of word, something. It might be in my head while I'm cooking. It might be while I'm using the bathroom, while I'm brushing my teeth. I'm practicing some type of verse. So that's who I've been. Practice, practice, practice. That's that Allen Iverson thing. We grew up Philadelphia 76ers fans because Allen Iverson won number 5'11". They kept putting him at 6'1". He was 5'11". In basketball, that's small. But he had big heart. And he knew what he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it. And he only made it to the playoffs one time, and he got gentlemen swept by the Lakers. But it didn't matter to us. As a family, we felt like practicing was the thing. We were already practicing, but that's what we consumed. Keep doing it. Just do it over and over. Do something. If you love it, it's not going to feel like work. So do it over and over. Do it over and over. And that's who I've been. That's what sets me apart from some of the other poets that, it is what it is. You don't have the same memory bank that I do. You haven't practiced the same way that I have. I know poets that are above and below me as far as when it comes to memorization. But it's about the dedication. You have to have a mental fortitude. You have got to be mentally ready for some of the things that we do. And continuing to host shows throughout the city, it came from my mom and my dad. That's who I have been. A mixture of my mom's work ethic and my dad's creativity blended in. And there's not too many poets that don't know who I am, and they know how long I've been on the scene and how long we're going to continue to do this. And I'm doing it in Atlanta. We're going to move around, but I got to take over Atlanta. I got to make sure that this is a safe space for black women to be taken over. And we all do it as a collective. It's going to change. It changes many, many worlds when you change just one. And I've had a lot of people come into my DMs and let me know. I ain't finna show social media. That's intimate.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of poets. If they decide that they want to put it on their story, how life-changing some of these experiences are, and it only takes one night. I've had a very rough day that turned into a great night that changed the rest of my life. And it does. And you keep doing that until it changes your life again. It changes your life again. The next dish is the best dish. The next day is supposed to be the best day. So that's where I've been. Wherever I go, oh my God. We got some things to do, man.
Oh gosh, you're definitely going places. Like I'm just interested also in like who else pours into you as far as like cultivating this bold, outwardly expressive, authentic, caring person that you are. Like who else pours into you? It's the people that you inspire and people that you bring on to your platform and to your stage, but like a personal life. Like, you don't have to give names. But
no, I'm fine with it. My mom is very first. Of course, my dad poured into me, but he passed away when I was 11. And some of the significant things he's taught me since has just morally and integrally integrate. With integrity.
I always get confused on the conjugation of the word integrity as well. Yeah. There should be other words besides integrity.
Yeah. He was an integral part of my life, making sure that I did things that God would want me to do. Like, so doing the best to not steal, not cheat, not take, not be disruptive in what we would consider noble behavior. Certainly want to do things from a disposition of where I feel that it's positive, of light, and I just don't do the vengeance or revenge and get backs, and we ain't doing that.
Yeah,
I got forward
it's
shit
like there's
to do.
a way that you are like very bold and outspoken, and like, but it's not vengeful. It's right there in the moment. And like, it's very powerful.
Thank you. I think that's why I'm so okay with being exactly who I am, because I know I ain't did nothing bad to nobody.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't did bad shit to you. So I know I'm okay to speak up and not feel guilt and shame about the decisions that I've made.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel great about everything that I've done, even in the mistakes that I have made, because it's not like I don't make those mistakes, of course. But to harp on them is double the work. To grow from the person that made the mistake that you did, and then add shame and guilt onto you, and having to grieve that person that you were, when all you have to do is just work on changing that person, change that behavior. I'm not going back to do double work. I don't like doing double cleaning. You want it done right the first time. So when you take your time, make sure you have the right ingredients for whatever recipe. And that may take you sitting in within yourself. It may take you apologizing to yourself, apologizing to the other party, having true forgiveness for the things that you're going to do in this human experience. That's why it's I'm crazy. That's why I get to go out. That's why I'm bold. That's why I'm shameless. I lack humility. There's nothing that a person could make me feel that I haven't already felt.
Yeah.
I ask myself those very hard questions at times, and I dig deep into some of the things that I've done that may not have been the best way to go. And you make sure that you change yourself, deliver something different.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can do. Because sitting in guilt and shame, I've actually heard from like ancient spiritual teachers that guilt and shame are useless emotions.
They are useless.
I mean, like,
I think anxiety is the same.
Yes, there are ways to use negative emotions to propel yourself forward, but that's what they're for, is as propellers,
like
not
anger,
not as chairs, right? To sit in and just be there all the time. Like, if you're using that as a tool to get to where you are trying to be, then yes, but just to sit in the guilt and the shame and just it's
those blue emotions.
That is double work. I like the way you said that.
I'm
love
not
that.
doing double work, baby. I'm working hard for what I need, but we can't double back and do it twice. You'll never even be the same person that you were once you do the work. So you're wasting time and emotion. And on
someone who doesn't exist anymore, or
on somebody that you feel like you have to grieve that never needed to be grieved. We didn't need to put that emotion into it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I am definitely about a person that wants to transmute energy. Wrath sometimes is okay. Rage, anger, emotional outbursts don't have to be violent. I have them all the time, and I get to write some of the craziest shit I've ever wrote in my life when I get upset. Being upset is not a problem. It means that you are passionate. Move those energies towards something safe. You can't lash out at your partner and your mom or your dad or people who feelings you gonna hurt. You put that energy. That's why musicians are so emotional, or tends to be emotional people are musicians. And you should be. You have to be able to pocket those emotions into places where they are safe. Be in a safe space, and you ain't gotta worry about all that other shit that makes people snap and spaz.
Yeah, the crash out. The real crash out.
Yeah. Mental health is extremely important. You know, we do have to face some adversities that I think can make a person want to crash out. But you got to stay diligent.
There's a lot of complexities to that whole concept.
You still got to stay diligent.
Yes.
You still have got to
There's still a responsibility to self.
Absolutely. So control yourself.
Yes. And to manage.
Yeah, managing be hard. I don't like managers. But you have to manage yourself. You have, because you want a good outlook. You want to be a good person outwardly and inwardly. Sometimes you got to project the outward before you can feel like that on the inner. Some people need rewards before they can get the good work going. For me, I'll do the good work first. You can reward me later, because it's going to come regardless. I always get my favor. Ooh. It's a bar, nigga.
Yeah, I like that. Speaking of bars, so I don't want to be too much, but do you care to share sis with us, or would you like to just leave us with like just an affirmation or just a final message that you want the world to hear?
I definitely do want to do sis for you, but at a later time.
Okay.
If that feels good. Let's do a part 2. And that's what I'll start with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a nice affirmation.
She has a poem called Sis. That shit go hard. That's the only reason I mentioned it. Y'all don't know what Sis is, but Sis is something to see. So just stay tuned. Okay.
Stay tuned.
Okay. Go ahead.
On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I want to affirm everyone to have peace, prosperity, and abundance. It is well within your gratitude. It is well within your gracious space to affirm gratitude, at the same time looking for exactly what you need. We can exist in abundance and need of at the same time. So wherever you are, just fine. Appreciate it. Do not let that allow stagnation. Poem.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
I got don't allow stagnation, but appreciate where you are.
Gotta do that first.
Thank you, Mookie. Thank you, Papadook.
Yeah.
It's been a lovely chat, and I really appreciate you for coming on. Is there anything you want to plug? Like,
oh, each and every single Wednesday we have Who Wanna Pho. At times we have our wonderful Zajavuu coming through with live paintings. I do have my Pink Panties and Poetry every single first Thursday. June 5th is going to be our next one. So just tune in. Papadook the Poet on Instagram. Papadook, thepapadook.com. Papadook on Twitter. I'm on all that junk. Just put me in, man. I'm Googleable.
Googleable. Yes, and as you all know, I am on Instagram as Zajavuu, and I'll be posting clips of this episode that you can repost and help me market. And you can also follow my Patreon, where I post exclusive content that I feel like only people who are really tapped in and invested deserve to see. And also you can shop my work on Etsy. So yeah, thank you so much for supporting. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Peace out.